Good morning. This is Professor Toto with TNN, Toto's News Network. Well, here at the Conservative College, we do our study day and night to defend this great republic. Good morning to every one of you. What we have discovered is revolutionary because I've told you from the beginning of these classes, trust God, trust the process, trust the Constitution. We have found a golden nugget contained within that divine document called the Constitution. I'm going to explain to you in just a moment what that gold nugget is, but I'm going to give you time to get your people here because this is one that's going to cause it all to make sense. Before I give you that gold nugget, how many of you have heard all day yesterday from the mainstream media, even people on your social media, that Texas has no right to dictate to other states how they should conduct their elections? This will never stand up in the Supreme Court, they say, because these states are independent and sovereign, and therefore, however the law is applied in Pennsylvania has no bearing on Texas. This is being told by cracked up Cuomo, Fruity Lemon, Chris Wannabe Wallace. It's being told all over as facts. We are going to bust that devil right in the head this morning with nothing but that grand old document called the Constitution. Hit the share button and get your people in here. If they love knowledge, they're going to love what we have found this morning. I'm going to give you 3 minutes to get them all in here. Please, if you'll hit the like button, everybody, it don't help me. It helps people that need to have this video recommended to them by YouTube right now. Before we go to that gold nugget, let me catch you up on the news, where we are in the news. So yesterday was a big day here in the Great Republic. Let me just go over them with you. 23 states have now joined this monstrous lawsuit that is sitting before the Supreme Court. That is basically half of these United States. President Trump has now joined in that lawsuit as a defendant that has been harmed. So he has standing. Number 3, Donald Trump has asked Senator Ted Cruz to argue the Texas case before the Supreme Court. Ladies and gentlemen, if you will study Ted Cruz's history before the Supreme Court, he is a constitutional genius. His track record is impeccable in arguing before the Supreme Court. The way that he argues the law is an art. That is news. Hunter Biden is now officially under federal investigation. It's been confirmed. Even CNN is now not able to hide that story any longer about Hunter Biden. Representative Eric Swalwell has been removed from the Intelligence Committee because he likes to sleep in the bed with Chinese spies that likes to do pillow talk late at night and find out just what Swalwell has learned on that Intelligence Committee. You remember Swalwell. He was one of Donald Trump's arch enemies during the impeachment proceedings with his weird looking self. Next, Michigan State Representative Cynthia Johnson. How many remember the lady on the Michigan? When we were having the hearings, there was one lady that kept being so rude to all of the witnesses, demanding that they go under oath, just being very disrespectful to them. You remember that lady? Well, she made a horrible tweet. You probably know the story. It was horrible is all I can say. She has been officially removed of all of her assignments and is now under investigation by the Michigan Department of the FBI. So that's big news. Why? Because God don't like ugly. What goes around comes around, okay? Now, here's big news. After denying that they had ever seen Seth Rich's laptop, The FBI now admits that they have the laptop and they're in the middle of extracting the files. I'll deal with that later. I done lost count. Impeachment of Michigan's Democratic governor, Gretchen Whitmer, has been processed and approved on a 4-2 margin. Charges are now to come against Governor Whitmer in the state of Michigan. It's beyond talk now. It's beyond chatter. It's official. She's under impeachment, and now the charges will be introduced. Just like President Trump, she will go to trial, and she will either fail or pass. Michigan, very soon you may have a new governor. Okay? Next, the Federal Trade Commission and a coalition of attorneys general from 48 states filed 2 separate antitrust lawsuits against Facebook. The suits target 2 of Facebook's major acquisitions, Instagram and WhatsApp. So Facebook, it's official. The Federal Trade Commission and the attorney generals of 48 states are coming after you guys. Keep messing with the Republic, and the Republic will mess back. You understand? It's the way it works. You can't get by with ugly forever. We will never have suppression of our speech in this great nation. We will never be fact-checked by your China-owned fact checkers. Just a little heads up, Facebook, just letting you know. Finally, Simon Park says that the Dominion CEO, John Pelosi, has been subpoenaed to court. That's just a little bit of today's news, yesterday's news. Okay, so here we go. Hopefully, let's see if all your classmates are in here. Okay, we're right at 2,000 classmates, so let's good. Let's go, 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 go. Ladies and gentlemen, many years ago, when the states were all sovereign and we did not have a federal government, the states did not want to join into a union. They loved their sovereignty. They loved their independence. Mississippi loved being Mississippi. New York loved being New York. Remember, in those days, people would say their name and then say from the great state of. There was a lot of pride in your state. That was called federalism. We need to return to federalism, taking power away from a conglomerate federal government. So, when they came together and finally decided to join the union to create a more perfect union, not a perfect one, but more perfect, they had to be guaranteed certain rights by this new big brother government. If we're going to join, we want to be guaranteed certain rights. I'm fixing to talk to you about one of those guarantees that very few of us ever knew about. It's hidden away in the confines of the great Constitution. And what I'm going to do now, I'm going to bring you to my screen and I'm going to show you so you can see with your eyes which article this is. All right, let's see if we can pull it up here. Let's go back. All right, you should be able to see that on your screen. It's called the Guarantee Clause. It is Article 4, Section 1 of the United States Constitution. I just want to make sure on my phone that you guys can see what I'm looking at. I want to make sure it's not backwards for you. Give me 1 second before we go further. Okay, it is backwards, isn't it? Okay, 1 second. I'll fix that. Let's fix that. Okay, let's look. Why is that not showing up right? Give me 1 second, guys. Oh, hold on. Application window. Okay, well, that's not working. All right, forget it. We'll go back to the camera. So here's the deal. The Guarantee Clause of the Constitution guarantees to every state in this union a Republican form of government. Now, very few people know about this law. It's sort of hidden in the category of political jargon, minutia. the one that nobody's ever really fooled with very much. As a matter of fact, Texas did not bring up this article called the Guarantee Clause in their petition before the court. But 3 states did: Idaho, Alaska, and Arizona. They filed what's called an amicus brief, arguing that this particular clause, Article 4, it's Article 1, Article 4, Section 1, the Guarantee Clause, gives a very special guarantee to every state in this union. When they joined the union, they were promised that they were joining a Republican form of government, not a democracy, but a Republican form of government. Now, I have taught you over the past few weeks what a Republican form of government is. It is not the will of the people or the will of the majority. It is what? The rule of law. A Republican form of government is different than a democracy. We go by the law as they are written on the books, giving every state an equal playing ground. We guarantee. Why do you think the Supreme Court did not reject the Texas case and now the Idaho, the Alaska, and the Arizona cases? Because they're invoking this article that says, wait a minute, we were guaranteed a Republican form of government. Now, let me explain to you what this means. It was discussed in 1947 at the Supreme Court. And this is what was decided on in the Supreme Court in 1947. Here's how they interpreted a Republican form of government. And I quote, "It is a fundamental idea in all Republican forms of government that no one can be declared elected until he or she receives a majority or a plurality of the legal votes cast in the election." Underline that word, the legal votes. Why do you think President Trump has been saying the entire campaign, if they count the legal votes, I win? This dude ain't dumb, y'all. You better wake up, you bunch of liberal, you better understand who you're dealing with. Why did he keep saying, even on election night, he came out, he stood before the camera and he said, I won by the legal votes. Well, everybody's like, oh, he's just, he knew what he was talking about. And now you know what he was talking about. Article 4 is being invoked before the Supreme Court. And it's already been decided what this article means in 1947. The facts that Texas is alleging is the antithesis of a Republican form of government. What Texas is saying is that an elite group of sitting Democrats in each of these 5 states coordinated with the Democratic Party to illegally and unconstitutionally change the rules established by the legislatures in their state, thereby depriving the people of their states a free and a fair election, the very basis of a Republican form of government. The Guarantee Clause places an obligation on the United States to ensure that such an unlawful election never be carried to fruition. The court is the Supreme Court, is the sole forum available for the enforcement of that obligation under these circumstances. Given the lowly status of this Guarantee Clause, one can see why Texas would choose not to raise it. But it is a useful counter to the arguments made by the 4 defendants that whatever they choose to do in their elections, however corrupt, is no one else's business. You've heard it all day. You're going to keep hearing it. What happens in Wisconsin is not Texas business. But yes, it is. Texas was guaranteed when they joined this union that they would be part of a republic where everybody plays by the same legal rules and that only legally cast votes throughout the nation would be able to come to fruition. This is called the Republican Guarantee Clause. Do you know why nobody knows about this clause? Because we think we're a democracy. We keep saying it. We think if we say a lie long enough, it becomes truth. But it's a lie. Just like these certifications are lies. That's why this election will be overturned, or this fraud, not the election. This fraud will be overturned because truth is a powerful thing. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is why the Supreme Court must take this case, because they have invoked Article 4. This Supreme Court must guarantee to Idaho, Alaska, Arizona, Texas, all these plaintiffs, that everybody played by the same rules. And if they do not do that, then Texas could secede from the union, and every one of these other states could. This is major news you're hearing right now. Our Constitution will defend this republic. And it's because of people like you that we're fighting to defend this Constitution. Ladies and gentlemen, this is amazing news that we have discovered. And I did not understand when I read those Idaho, I read their amicus briefing. When I read it, I saw that constitutional guarantee clause, and it just piqued my interest. But it's brilliant. So it's a great day. I told you so. Thank you, whoever put that up. Here's what I want to get across to you. Now, you won't see me anymore today because today is Friday. It's what we call the day of preparation. The Sabbath begins this evening when the sun goes down, and I'll be preaching in Waveland, Mississippi at 6:30. If you live close by, within 100 miles, you ought to just come on down, be in church with us tonight in Waveland, Mississippi. So I'll be preaching tonight, so I won't be available all day tomorrow. I take the Sabbath day away from politics, and the only exception that would be I might do a biblical teaching. But be that as it may, I wanted to bring you this news so that when you hear all the chatter today, you will not be alarmed. Now, if major news breaks today about the Dominion servers, I will come back and explain to you what that means. I love you guys. You are the most amazing patriots in the world. And again, so many of you have sent us donations to our church. My heart says thank you from the bottom of my heart. If you want to follow us on all the social medias, look in the description of this video. All of our links are right there. God bless you today. God bless these United States of America. You might want to share this, okay?